It's not actually the pain that drives us, but our fears that something will lead to pain is what drives us. If I'm sitting on the couch and I should be doing something, whatever it is, it's not that I'm in pain right now. It's purely that's going to make me uncomfortable. I'd rather be comfortable with where I'm at than uncomfortable. It's not really the pain that drives us to avoid that. It's the fear of the pain. It's the potential of the pain. It's the possibility of uncomfortableness. It's not actually the pleasure that drives us, but our belief that taking a certain action will lead to pleasure. It wasn't the pleasure of eating that candy bar, okay? It was gone in 5 seconds. It was the belief buying that candy bar and eat what would cause pleasure. What we have to do is we have to change how we think about it. We're not driven by reality. Now, this is the key, but by our perception of reality. What's reality? That candy bar is done in 5 seconds. I'm not driven by reality. I was driven by the perception of reality. Somebody tells me, no, is that really painful? Maybe a second of pain. It's not the reality. It's the perception of the reality. We focus on avoiding pain or gaining pleasure in the short term and thereby create long-term pain for ourselves. Every time you procrastinate, every time you do something you shouldn't do, or every time you don't do something you should do, okay, what you're really doing is you're avoiding short-term pain at the expense of your long-term gain, your long-term pleasure. We talked about writing down 2 actions that you need to change, okay, things that you need to do right now that you've been putting off. Go ahead and write those down. And then underneath each one, I want you to write down the answer to the following questions. Why haven't I taken this action in the past? What pain have I linked to taking this action? So why haven't I taken this past? Well, we already know why you haven't, okay? There's a pain attached to it. And don't just say it's hard. The resulting benefit from anything has a lot to do with the effort you take to produce it. What pain have you linked to taking this action in the past? Write down the pleasure you'd have in the past by indulging in this negative behavior. Write down what it will cost you if you don't change now. And last, I'll leave you with this. Write down all the pleasures you will receive by taking these 2 actions right now. There might be some element of you that has convinced yourself maybe you don't have what it takes to do these kind of things. Quote, it's just you, or you've tried and it hadn't worked. We can't have negative thoughts, okay? You've got to take control of your thoughts. You've got to take control of your limiting beliefs. You have what it takes. I've seen way too many people succeed. I look at it, to be very frank with you, and say, good golly, how does that person succeed? I've seen way too many of those examples to believe that you can't make. I promise you, you have what it takes. There isn't anything different about you than anybody. We all have the same doubts. We all have the same fears. We all have the same anxieties. We all have the same negative Nellies in our life. Okay, we all have that. We've all failed. We've all had disappointments. We all have not measured up. You just got to make a decision.